You really gotta let people be who they are. I know we think we can change people, but in reality, we can't change nobody. People have to change within themselves, and people are responsible for their own happiness. And I know sometimes we think that if we do this, if we do that, the situation will be different when dealing with someone in a friendship or anything you go through. It's really not going to be different because you can't control nobody. You can't control what people do. You can only control what you can do. So that's where I had to learn because I was experiencing that for so long in my life, thinking that I can change someone or people will change. But as time went on, I started to realize that people wasn't willing to grow. So in reality, if you're not on this universe to grow, everything has an expiration date. When a friendship is going to end or anything you're dealing with is going to end. And that's okay because we be afraid of when that time comes. But in reality, that time is going to come. So you can't run from that time. You just have to embrace it. And what a lot of us don't do, we don't embrace that time when a friendship is over. Or if it's about to end, we try to do things, see if you can make it right. And if you can do anything in the world, you will always try to make it right. But in reality, that's not the right thing to do. Because no matter what you do, if they don't want change, they're not going to change. So you think you could be doing everything in your will and your power to make the situation different, but it's all up to that other person. So that's what you got to learn because that's what I had to learn because in reality, a lot of people don't want to grow. And it is what it is. And sometimes you have to take the situation for what it is. Not just sometimes, all the time. Because if you do it sometimes, then it's like you're going to let your guard down and let everything come into your life just to upset you or disappoint you. So always leave your guard up because when you don't, be observing and starting to see that person for who they are, that's where it's going to hurt you the most because we don't see things for what they are when it's right in our faces. We don't see the red flags. We don't see none of that because we think this person got so much potential. We just want them to be better because nobody's perfect. But at the end of the day, actions speak louder than words. A person is going to show you better than they can tell you without even telling you. And you know what? You know what's the fascinating thing about a person showing you? They're not even going to be realizing that they're showing you. But you have to be observing to know when somebody is showing you who they are. But their actions will never lie. So once you learn that, the friendship will go better. The relationship will go better. Or whatever you're dealing with. Because we get caught up on just trying to prove yourself to people. We get caught up in that type of situation our whole lives. We care what everybody else think. We try to prove a point to somebody. But as you get older in life, you start to realize, what's the point? Why you got to prove yourself to somebody? If you always feel like you got to prove yourself, you surrounding yourself by the wrong people. Because you shouldn't have to prove yourself to nobody. And then if you see the same patterns in this person over and over, just take that situation for what it is because it's a lost cause. And once you learn that it's a lost cause, you won't stress yourself out anymore. Because I know you stressing yourself and you going through it thinking you trying to help the person be better. But if they don't want to be better, let them be who they are. Because that's all you can do. Just let them. As long as they're not affecting your life and you're not surrounding yourself with that situation no more, you'll understand what I'm talking about, because your life will prosper. Your life can never prosper if you don't let situations be what they be, because you can't control the situation and you can't control nobody. That's what you got to learn. And I know you've been hard-headed, because I used to be hard-headed and I had to learn this the hard way. But if you don't have to make this hard, don't make it hard. Why we make everything so difficult and it could be simple? That's one thing that I want to know. I've been wondering this for a long time as a human in general. Why do we make everything so difficult? Because we overthink situations. That's why. Our mind just be wandering at 1,000 miles per second. We keep thinking this, we keep thinking that, instead of just letting the situation be. And people will upset you. People will cause you a heartbreak. People will disappoint you. People will be non-trustworthy. But you have to let them be who they are. So none of that can get to you. So none of that can reach you. Because you got so much going on in your life, you don't need another problem dealing with a friend or a family member or anybody that stresses you out. But you let them stress you out. You can't keep letting them get too close to you to be in your world to stress you out. That's where you keep going wrong at. And once you start to learn that, watch everything change. Because that's something that I didn't learn, because I was going through that my whole life. But once you learn that you have to let people be who they are and deal with them accordingly, you'll be better off. Now, some things that people can't come back from. And the only thing that I don't get, the things that people do, is they'll do something ain't no coming back from, or they'll say something ain't no coming back from. But the thing that I don't understand about that situation is that, and you do something wrong, or you say something wrong, they don't want to stay in that bed that they laid. If you make that bed, lay in it. That's the part of taking accountability. A lot of people like to cause all this chaos and create problems and then want you to take them back like everything is good. And that's part of being accountable for yourself. That's part of being a man. That's part of being a woman. If you know you did wrong, stop trying to disturb this person's peace. But you only looking at it like, well, they crazy if they let me back in. That's on them. I'm going to do whatever it takes for them to take me back if I can do it again. That's what be on people's minds. So it's up to you not to fall for that trap. The okie doke. Because at the end of the day, that's shame on you. But if you know what you're dealing with and it's not too dramatic or something somebody can come back from, then just know what you're dealing with and deal with that situation accordingly. But sometimes people will say and do. But majority of the time, the math ain't never math. And they'll say this and say that and never do it. So actions will never lie. So always remember that. Somebody can say all they want, but their actions will never lie to you. So once you start becoming more observant and you see that situation, watch your life will change. Your life will be more peaceful. Because can't nobody disturb your peace because you won't let them. And I know y'all be going through things. Y'all got bills in your life. Y'all got work problems. Y'all got personal problems. But you can't control that. All you can do is adapt. So you was born to adapt. You just didn't know. Because you let your mind wander. And I get it because you're human. And I understand because that's a part of life. Life ain't perfect. And life ain't pretty either. Life gets crazy for the majority of us until we change our life and make our situation better than what it is. And times have gotten rough. I'm going to just keep it real with y'all. I ain't here to sugarcoat it. But once you learn how to adapt your life and let people be who they are, your life will be different. Because people will prove to you all the time that this is who they are. They may say they changed, but in reality, they haven't changed. You can see that without them telling you. If somebody changed, you will be able to see it. So stop letting them tell you that they changed. Because majority, once you listen to people, you're going to start to realize that if they haven't changed, they're going to have the same stories. Just peep that. Next time you got a friendship or anything, it's going to be the same stories over and over, but just a little different. Once somebody changed, their story will be different. At least make up a different story. But all jokes aside, but in reality, they're going to show you with their actions. That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. So hopefully you get this message. And hopefully you like this message. Because you're going to see me again. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace.